few things about our project. When we first started discussing with customers and clients that we had, and we were thinking about creating a project here in Otopeni area, we started asking and finding out what are the needs of the customers. So most of our customers were asking us if it is to move outside of the city. We would like to have more space, we would like to have more privacy. And that was the two main characteristics that they needed in a house. But then again, the whole city had been developed in such a way. So all the houses that had been built already outside of the city, in the areas of Pipera, in the areas of Corbianca, they were already there, and we were hearing a lot of people that had moved there complaining about their houses. So we started investigating what are the things that they are concerning them the most, what are the problems that they are facing. Most of them, we discovered, they had problems with energy efficiency. Now imagine that people had started moving from apartments where were spaces, where they were heated spaces and having a lot of walls common with other heated spaces, and the energy efficiency was not such a big issue. Now suddenly from those houses people moved to bigger houses outside of the city, and therefore the heating demands and the cooling demands of a house increased tremendously. So for us it became a challenge. It became a challenge to create some houses that would have been much more efficient than normal houses. And we've set a very high target for that. We've set a target of creating a house which is 10 times more energy efficient. And we created all our design philosophy around that, around giving more space, giving more privacy. And for space that was easy. We enlarged the land, we give minimum 600 square meters of a land for every single house, which means that by retreating the house in the one part of the land, you get a lot of garden in front. We have very wide streets in our compound. We have streets that are up to 11 meters wide. We started looking around to solutions that had not only to do with technology, but also with the past. It's very distinctive to many projects that you have seen, or many houses or buildings you have seen from previous centuries, that they were using nature not against them, but assisting them. And while after the Industrial Revolution we started moving into cities and forgetting about nature, the truth is that once you get a bit outside of the city, you have all the ability and you have all the possibility to use nature into your own favor. We have taken care of orientation, we have taken care of main wind direction, of thermal mass and nature. Orientation, it means that we have turned our houses all facing towards the same direction. They are facing towards south, where we have the sun during the winter. Now, south is beneficial. Why? Because in the winter, the sun is very low in the horizon, and thus by having very big windows towards that direction, we are permitting all the sun coming in and warming the house when we need it the most. Now, as the sun goes higher in the horizon, the windows are covered in such a way, so when the sun overpasses 50 degrees in inclination, the sun is not entering anymore inside. So the sun goes higher, the temperature outside goes higher, the weather gets warmer, but the house becomes cooler. And the other thing that we have taken care is the main wind direction. The main wind direction in Bucharest is winter northeast winds. And these winds are actually making the whole house and the whole space more uncomfortable. What we have done in order to permit that, in order to protect the house from those winds, is that we have placed some trees that are evergreen in the northeast parts of every house. That way, we protect the entrance of the house, we slow down the wind, and we protect the house from the is the winter cold winds. Then all the houses have been built with materials that have a high thermal mass. Now this, in combination with the fact that they have big windows towards the south, it helps us so to absorb as much heat during the day and then release in the space that heat during the night. So that way we achieve a very continuous and homogeneous temperature day and night. So you don't overheat during the day and you don't feel very cold during the night because all the heat has been absorbed from the materials of the house and being given back in the space when it's needed. We have increased the insulation of the walls to more than 20 centimeters. We have used triple glass windows with a double OE layer and special membranes that are not only in every opening of the window, but also that is all around the window. Now, normally in a house, when people are constructing a house and placing windows, they put polyurethane with spuma all around it. And this is quite okay for the first year, second year. But then as time is passing, this becomes more rigid, and then the elements of the house, as they start moving because of heating and cooling, they create gaps. And from those gaps, you have big heat losses. In our case, we have a special membrane all around the window that it doesn't permit for those gaps to be created. Now, in order to be able to have fresh air inside the house, we have included a device called a heat recovery unit. What this heat recovery unit is doing is bringing fresh air continuously in the house. You will see in the ceiling there are some parts where we are bringing continuously fresh air, and we are extracting the consumed air from the kitchen and from the bathrooms. So in the process of bringing fresh air and extracting the air, we pass it through this device that is recovering more than 90% of the heat or the cooling. So in the winter, when we have heated the space, we bring fresh air inside, which is at almost room temperature, so we don't lose any heat. And in the summer, again, the same, we don't lose any of the cooling that has happened in the house. As of the technology that we're using, we have been using heat pump to heat or cool the house. We have a very nice and comfortable system that you don't actually perceive, but it's all in the ceiling. That it's a water pipe that goes all around the ceiling, and it's providing the heating and cooling. This is a very comfortable system because it provides the same temperature, homogeneous all over the space. So indifferent of where you are staying in the house, and indifferent if it's cold or warm outside, you feel the same way. We are offering a smart home application. Heating and cooling can be controlled at any point through the internet. What we offer also extra is for people to be able to control also their lights or their blinders or anything mechanical in the house, also remotely, if they like. We have a centralized vacuum cleaning system, which means that we have a system that you plug in the wall, and then you are able to absorb all the dust from the space and take it outside of the house. And this, in comparison with traditional vacuum cleaners, what it does is that it takes all these small particles that are responsible for asthma and for, let's say, allergies, and it takes it outside of the house instead of actually having it reintroduced through a filter in the house. We were able to achieve 10 times less energy consumption. We were able to achieve a 10 times more efficient air exchange and having fresh air, as I said, with a heat recovery unit that recovers more than 90% of the heat. So moving in a green luxury home, it means that you move in a space that you can really call it home.